one big story. What do you think is the biggest thing that happened that affected your lives or generally the world's lives? For me, the biggest story of this year has been AI.
And that's the coming into our social consciousness, the GLP-1 medications.
Mental health coming to the forefront.
We get paradigm shifts once in a lifetime. But our generation is lucky to have experienced multiple paradigm shifts.
Everyone's got GPT-4, and
Uh, and I believe now we also have this concept called hallucination, which is coming up.
but will you need that human overlay for a final decision making? But will you need that human overlay for a final decision making?
But what's going to happen with the people who are left behind, who are not hired? Now they have an artificial brain on their computer. They will be able to do things that they couldn't imagine doing earlier. For example, it's entirely possible that a year or two from now, we have somebody sitting, I think, in Dharvi, Mumbai, in the slums, and making a whole feature film because he will use the Gen AI as the artificial brain, writing the storyline, making the visual effects, making those characters.
I think so, and to be honest, this is something which I got influenced a bit recently when I saw there's an interview of Shekhar Kapoor from last month, which I was seeing on the web about, and he was asked this question pointedly, where and he said, "You don't need a rich dad to make a movie anymore. You can do all this yourself with limited means." And to me, it sounded quite like what Google did 20 years ago. Uh, as is sometimes called the democratization of information.
Exactly.
And AI could possibly do democratization of execution.
Yes. Or
Okay, I just came
intelligence.
up with this. Sorry, I just came up with this.
No, but this is good. Democratization of execution. It's a good mix. But what would you do if you had a brain available on your computer and that brain was as good as the best filmmaker, the best logo designer, the best physics thinker, the best chemistry thinker, the best biological thinker? So now you have a brain that's as good as the best biological thinker, the best physics thinker, the best chemistry thinker, the best storyline writer, the best logo designer, the best music creator. What did you do with this brain that's available to you? So, what I expect to see happen is that there will be a huge deflationary pressure on the economy. Prices of everything should come down. The price of intelligence, the price of lawyers should come down. The price of doctors should come down. Your internal desire to do something become more important.
Are we there yet? Or are we going to take 5 years from now? Or would that be 25 years from now? I'm pretty sure, I'm confident that it will be there. May not be the best, but decent, good
No,
enough.
no. So, Mix,
But how,
let
how, how
me,
long do you think this will
yes.
take?
Yeah. So, that the artificial brain does things 1,000 times faster than the human brain. So when you give a human brain 20 pages to read, the human brain would take an hour to read those pages, comprehend, and make meaning out of it. And if page number 3 has some inconsistent data from page number 19, the human brain will find it very hard to find that inconsistency and come up with a conclusion. It can do it, but it will find it hard. When we gave those same 20 pages to GPT-4, you know what GPT-4 said? And that was the first time when I had goosebumps. The hair on my skin rose up. And I think that was the reason why that podcast or that Twitter spaces was shared very widely. Our biological neural network, and we can talk about what the neural network is, our biological neural network operates at a specific speed, but this digital neural network is operating at 1,000 times faster speed. It takes the biological neural network an hour to read 20 pages, comprehend it, and make meaning out of it. But to the digital neural network, it took 30 seconds.
About this stuff, I'm sure, Chow, you've experienced this in your line of work. How do you use AI in your startup?
There are multiple use cases. I think the way we are using AI in our startup, in our space right now, there's a lot of early detection of uh, suicidal ideation and so on that we do. One of the things which we have seen, especially in the mental health space, is that there's an expectation that someone will come out and seek help when they require it. And that's one of the paradigm shifts that we are trying to make, as to how do you make this available to the quote unquote normal population, and then show them, make help available to them, make support available to them, and not make help or support a bad word in their context. So bringing it to them when they need it much earlier than when they realize they should seek that help.
I think the other thing we have to realize is that this generative AI, our initial hypothesis was that people will not want to talk to AI about their mental health issues, right? Because they want to talk to another human. But when we did a pilot study here, what we realized was that people want to talk about their mental health issues at 1 a.m. in the morning when they can't go to sleep, or they want to talk about their mental health issues over the weekend. And you can't have another human available 1 a.m. in the morning or over the weekend. So having a generative AI co-pilot on the other end, which can talk to you and work with you, a digital brain being the therapist, and people interacting with the digital brain over text messages, and it actually because it's a paradigm shift. Internet gave us Microsoft. No, sorry, the PC world gave us Microsoft. The PC paradigm gave us Microsoft. The internet paradigm gave us Google. The social media paradigm gave us Facebook. And the mobile paradigm gave us Apple, right? The Apple iPhone. I think this digital brain paradigm is going to give us companies like PeakMind that Chow is running, which will become the a mental health provider on your phone number. I think the mechanization has already been done, but I think once we are able to put these digital brains that we have made in the last 2 years into robots that have legs and hands and eyes and ears, that will lead to a second level of mechanization. Just imagine, like there are multiple startups within walking distance of where I am right now, working on bipedal robots. Just imagine, for $40,000, you'll be able to buy a robot which will do like a household help around your house. It will cook for you, clean for you, and I think that is possible within the next 5 years. $40,000 for a household help in America.
Totally. I think as a closing note, I will also say that people in India are also realizing that, which is where we see from a statistical figures of the number of unicorns coming out of India versus relocating a great startup into Silicon Valley.